On.
So one of the things we get asked all the time, or at least I get asked all the time, is it hot in the suit of armor? It's the same temperature as it is for the person asking me. So if they put on a bunch more clothes, then it's going to be warmer. Is it unbearable? Obviously not, or I couldn't be in it. Is it heavy? Is it uncomfortable? How do you put it on? Well, I can answer how do I put it on. So I've got some of the armor out today. I've got several of the breastplates, a few of the different helmets, a bunch of the different mail, and we're going to start from. Got my underclothes, got my linden ear on, which holds the legs up, got my hose, got my arming shoes and spurs. So we're going to start from I've gotten dressed, and now we're going to put on the armor. So we're going to start with the feet and work our way up. So we're going to start with the sabatons, which is also a lovely Swedish war metal band. I'm going to sit down on the stool and start sabatoning. Sabotage? Sabatones? I don't know. Either one of my shoe covers here, my foot armor, is named Joachim. Neither one. Some of you will get that, some of you won't. They're tied to the point of the shoe with a point. Point is just a fancy word for a piece of leather or usually fabric that ties a piece of armor into place so that it may stay on the wearer comfortably and securely. And that is one. One is on. The second one goes on. I believe these were made by a guy who went by halberds off of the Armor Archive. And they are really, really thin. They basically have just enough material to have one side. If they were any thinner, they wouldn't be able to have two sides. Some of you are confused, some of you are laughing. Okay, the sabatons are on, the spurs are in place. So I move on to the greaves. You'll notice I have on wool, some thick wool hose as I sit on my stool, and I don't have on knee pads. Well, knee pads are not really a thing we can find in any of the information we got. Single piece front greave, and then a partial back. These are based on a few different Eviches, one of them being Walter von Hohenklingen, if I said that right. And they basically cover most of my leg, or at least lower leg, if I can get them to buckle. I'm wrestling the armor on for normal. We have another strap that goes around the top, goes up, goes in the buckle. And yeah, it takes a while to get this on. Armor, especially armor like this, is not something you can just throw on quickly. There's some of the pieces that go on fairly quickly, like if I don't have to fight the greaves on and the mail shirt, you can pop the mail shirt on fairly quickly. Some of the other ones, some of the mail shirts that open down the front can go on pretty quick. For the most part, this armor does not go on quickly. Think of it like pre-check for a flight or a fighter aircraft or a tank or something like that. There's a bunch of stuff you have to do to that vehicle before it gets ready to go. You got to make sure it's fueled, you got to make sure it's armed, you got to make sure it's lubricated and ready to do its thing. It's kind of the same thing. You got to do your pre-flight check and get all the system up and running, or else the armor doesn't work. You'll notice the greaves are very fitted, so that once they're on, they don't really go anywhere. They're basically the same shape as my lower leg, although my calves have gotten a little tiny of late. So they're getting a little baggy. Need to do some more calf work. That one's kind of loose on me right now, but we can work with it. So the next thing that goes on is my cuisses and knees. The greaves, I almost missed the stool. The greaves are made by Darkwood Armory. The cuisses and knees are, once again, you'll notice I have a pattern of stuff. A lot of stuff I have is made by a lot of the same people. These are also made by Darkwood Armory. I'm trying to reach my leather tabs. There's some leather tabs between those two helmets in the back, and I need them to put the legs on. They've been recently polished. They have a little bit of leather polish on them. So these little black spots are not rust, it's leather polish. Metal polish leftovers, residue, such as it were. Pull it up to the top of the lindener and run them through these little leather washers, which kind of saves the points. Keeps them working longer, and it also keeps the rim of the metal from chewing up the point. The back goes on a little easier. Tie it up tight. And I'm gonna double knot it. And now we strap the leg in place as I try to talk with the leather thing in my mouth. So we got one strap goes around the top of the thigh. Buckles. And buckles. I would often get, it takes you so long to get your armor on. Well, yes, because it's an actual suit of armor. It takes longer than modern sports equipment, or nothing. Okay, little ant crawl up on my hand. Blow him off. He's just looking for some place to go. Put on my sleeve. Now he's off in the grass. So right leg is basically on. Moving over to the left leg. Same idea. Same process. Get the point. Go through the top of the leather rim. Tied in place. Take the second point, which keeps it from riding in, and also gives it a little redundancy in case one of them breaks. I've got another. It'll at least stay on long enough for me to get hopefully back to safety, or survive that particular encounter and move on to the next one. Find all the straps. One that goes behind my knee. I'm going to pull the hose up as high as I can. I have little skinny chicken legs, so my hose tend to want to bag up on me. And it pulled another strap through, which I'm trying. I've never done that before. Pull the other strap underneath through it. There we go. Buckle is buckled on the greave and the demi-greave, so I have a saboton, I have a greave, demi-greave, pole lane, cuisse. Most of the terms for armor are from French. Why is that? I don't know. I guess because it's boring to say foot, shin, top of shin, knee, thigh. So, yeah. But now I have the lower part of the armor on as I adjust my pants into place. Now we're moving on to the more difficult stuff. Now I need my arming coat. My coat is over here. This one we've dyed black. It came out kind of a charcoal gray. Why did I dye it? Because most of them are more this oatmeal color in artwork and in example. This one got so dirty and so stained with metal polish and with grass and with, it was okay, it wasn't my blood, that after we cleaned it, it kind of was this really gross, different shades of brown. So I just dyed it black and it came out this kind of cool charcoal gray. There's a little bit of artwork showing them in something approximately this color, but it also could just be really dirty from the mail, because wherever I wore the mail, it got this weird, ugly kind of smeared gray color, which is a little like this, but not quite. So I basically just didn't want it to look as bad as it did, because it was looking kind of rough. I'm running another arming point through here with my brass aglets. These are also from HE, Historic Enterprises. And tying this up tight. You notice everything is fitted to me. One of the things you'll see in a lot of TV series and movies is the armor always looks too big. It always looks like it's bouncing around on them. Everything is not fitted. Well, they generally make it to fit a handful of people, or they have it mass produced. Rarely you'll get like Excalibur back in the 80s when they made that armor to those actors, and it was actually metal. I think most of it was aluminum, I'm not 100% sure. But it was made, and it looked really, really, really good. It wasn't right for the historical Arthur, but it was really, really looked great, and it was historically based, just not quite that time period. It was beautiful. You can really tell the difference between armor that is fitted to the individual and armor that's not. You can absolutely tell when you're wearing it. Some stuff you can get off the rack, like I've bought a lot of Historic Enterprises stuff off the rack, which worked for me, but may not work for you. What might be right for you may not be right for some. Sit, Ubu, sit. Good. And then I have my little fabric buttons. These are pieces of the same fabric the coat's made out of, stuffed with more pieces of fabric the coat is made out of. And so it makes little squishy cloth buttons. And now my arming doublet is on. The next thing that goes on is my mail shirt. This is not fun and is quite embarrassing to watch. I'm going to sit in the stool, and the lovely and talented Kimberly is going to, okay, that's the front, so come around.
I don't want to see my back.
Well, I don't want to rip out my eyebrows. I have to disconnect it from itself, because for some reason the links like to grab each other. This is a semi-fitted, because I've been working on it, titanium riveted mail shirt for munition grade arms. I think we managed to not cut me with it that time. It's really not easy to do fitted mail. There's places you can get it. It just is not cheap. This was not cheap, and it wasn't fitted, and I've had to do a lot of tailoring. It's a very nice piece, just wasn't tailored. You need, on a budget, to get some really good mail. Eric at Munition Grade Arms is a place to go. Okay. Now if you can take, go around my arm. Try to wrap it as far as it will go. And you're gonna not tight, but tight. Yeah, like that, and tie it. originally these sleeves were basically straight, and when they got to my forearm, instead of this little bit of gap here, they hung down like this. So they were just another tube. Just untie the bow. There you go. Pull it tight. There you go, and wrap it around. This is allowing me to bend my arm a lot further. I've put a gusset in the elbow. I simply couldn't bend, my arms got stopped right here. It's a lot better. Now it's just the material in the way. Before, I physically could not bend my arms more than about halfway to do this. Okay, so now that we've got that on, this is still kind of bagging around. So we're going to take the brown belt, and then we're going to belt it, and I'm going to raise my arms, which will take some of the weight off of my torso, put it more on my hips. Hopefully it will help the male shirt fit better too. We did this way last year. Okay. And then she pulled me over.
I'm not that strong.
A little off balance. She said it. Bring it around back and tuck it.
Tuck it in.
A little high, but it's fine. I'm not actually going to be fighting anybody, I don't think. I would probably adjust this down a little bit if I was going to have to actually do anything. It's not terrible. Now, as you can see, I can raise my arms all the way up, which is a lot better. So now you need to dig the points out from under my mail so we can put my arms on. Okay, go ahead and grab one of the arms, whichever one's on top. Please the right one's on top. Before we put that on, there's another version. You'll see she's got the full spalder. There's also these little demi shoulders that you see, and then with just the van brace and the elbow, maybe just a simple splint right there. These are beautiful. I just haven't quite finished them yet. We'll try that out next time. So we're getting this arm. Come over here. And they kind of have to go on a specific way or they won't bend. So we get the forearm in first, tuck all the mail in. Try not to drop it while I'm in mid-mail. Oop. Okay, van brace is on. You can find the buckle. If I can feel it. I can feel it digging into my arm. So I know it's there because it hurts. There we go. Get this strap into this buckle. Pull it tight. Which it has a tongue. I know it does. It's because it's backwards. There we go. No edits. Any mistakes, they're just going in it. So when the buckle gets in backwards, gets in backwards. Things happen while you're putting the armor on. And that went where I didn't want it to go. There we go. Okay, pull that up as high as it'll go. And then pulling the cuff out of the, when we tie that up tight. Okay, I can't do the bicep strap, I don't think. I might be able to. For the most part, once you get the legs on, you have to have help putting on an actual suit of armor that's anything later than, 11th, 12th century. I would defer to people who do those earlier eras on how easy it is to put theirs on. I know this is not the easiest thing to do. And I don't have a full range of movement, but this is way better than it was earlier. So it's getting better. I think ultimately I still just have too much mail in the sleeves. I just got too much maleness. I got too much mail in the sleeve, and there's nowhere for it to go. Once it compresses as much as it can compress, that's it. There's not anywhere else to put it. It has to be somewhere so it fills up the inside of the arm. So I probably need to take these sleeves down a little bit more eventually. Ironically, the first shirt I had wasn't this tailored, but it fit better in the body, and while it was heavier, it moved better because it was loose. And you pretty much tie everything down as tight as it can comfortably go because it's going to stretch while you're wearing it and it's going to move while you're wearing it. Okay, so now we're going to do the last bicep strap, where we're trying to be. And as I've generally been going through who made everything, the van braces, the forearms, were made by Darkwood Armory, as were these elbows, which this one keeps going and sliding into the elbow no matter what I do. I think I'm going to have to change where that one's pointed. This one does not. The shoulders were made by me. I finished them last week. So now I've got 3 different breastplates to go with. I have 3 different versions of a late 14th century Globus breastplate. I have the Cherbourg 14. It's got the stop rib at the bottom, and it's got the kidney plates that wrap around the back. That one's a little small to wear comfortably over the mail. It doesn't want to move. The blue velvet breastplate is one that there's a project video series here on the channel, so check that out later. It's still in progress. It's based on one in the Munich Museum. It would look great, but I'm not done with it yet, and I think it's a little too small to go over this till I get it a little more tailored through the torso. So we're going to go with the one from Peter's Armory. He's a armorer out of Poland, and this is the deepest of the 3. So it gives me that very voluptuous 14th century wasp-waisted kind of effigy artwork look. It also has the most forgiving amount of space. Oh, the standard. We forgot the standard. So grab the male standard. We almost forgot my throat, which also covers the points at the top of my shoulders. I'm going to back this out and drop it down. That goes up around my neck. And then the wife punishes me because I was saucy. She did. That was just fun. Not at all. And that covers the points up at the top, protects them, adds another layer of mail around the gap around my neck where the breastplate stops. Keeps the breastplate not quite riding exactly on top of my collarbones. It's just another added layer. Obviously protects my trachea more and the back of my neck. It's hooked on this side just a little bit. There it is. Okay. And how does it strap? I'm going to turn around so you guys can actually see how it straps up. It crosses in the back and goes around the waist. There's no back plate on this. There's no back plate on a lot of the Globus 14th century breastplates. There are some that have back plates. There are some that have like the big saloon door back plates. There are some that have the little kidney plates that go, oops, that's on top of the gorget. Pull that to the side. There we go. Some that have full back plates. Some that have back plates made out of little pieces of metal overlapping. There's a couple of different variations. This one, very much like the one depicted in the PC on Altarpiece, has no back plate at all. So I'm riding forward, and I'm going to be hoping that the breastplate takes all the bodkin points, the other longbow heads, lance shafts, and such. I'm not fully armored yet, though. I still need my helmet, and I still need my gauntlets. So let's do the oh, my surcoat will go on as well. We're going to put the whole thing on. So I don't have anything to tie that with off the top of my head. What do I have? What do we have handy? We have 2 big points handy. So we're going to go to the surcoat next. The surcoat is based off Olin Ösruns from his channel. I'm probably butchering his name. I really love his channel. His is based loosely off of the Edward the Black Prince. It's got channels sewn into it to slightly pad it. The interior is linen, and then the exterior is all silk, and it's all applique.
And embroidered.
And embroidered applique. I can't do one. And arm goes up. And we're very careful to not wong the girl in the noggin. Well, whose arms are these? This is actually pops up a few different places. There's variations on it. There's Scandinavian arms that have a gold lion rampant. The rampant lion you see on Robert the Bruce's. You see on George Felbridge's arms. You see in Robert the Bruce's is red on gold. Felbridge's is gold on is a red lion on gold.
Spain purple.
Spain has purple. No, gold lion on red is Felbridge. Spain has a purple one. So this particular motif you see in a lot of places of the big rampant lion on a solid field.
Leaving it untied for now.
This is basically your medieval IFF, identify friend and foe. You see the arms of, like you see the black chevron with 3 white seashells. Okay, I better give up because that's John Hawkwood. You see the 3 gold lions on the red field in the Fleur de Lis. That's England. That's England post Edward III. You see the 3 Fleur de Lis. Oh, that's the French. 3 gold Fleur de Lis on blue. That's the French. And you might see people just wearing their national badge. You'd often see the Cross of St. George on the archers, or the Cross of St. Andrew on the guys in the Chilterns for the Scots. And it was a very quick way to tell friend from foe, as the equipment was largely very similar. Okay, now going to helmet. We'll do the helmet next. So give me the big face bassinet. Okay. Flip it upside down. So I got to pull the helmet liner out. It's got a full riveted metal aventail, 6mm steel, and it has a linen aventail liner. And there's a little square of leather that I've got under the visor so I can lift it and it will stay up. That is on the table. Okay, help me get the aventail straightened out. I don't have any. This helmet was made by Jeff Hedgecock at Historic Enterprises, and just fold it in half. And now I can still see. Is that period? No, it's probably not. But this way I can see. The thing is, now I can't really hear. The padded aventail is on top of my ears and squishing them down. As well as it protects the mail and keeps me protected, it also interferes with my ability to hear. So means orders have to be very, very loud. So what else do we need? I have no belt and I have no gauntlets. So I'm going to put on my belt of plates, or I'm going to try to. And then I need my sword belt. This is made by Raymond's Quiet Press. It is bronze, plated in silver. I cannot get this on. I can't bend my arm that far. So my beautiful wife will have to give me a hug. And I don't know if it's going to go on with the mail with the surcoat. Not quite. It needs about another plate, and actually it should sit about here. So this is too small to wear. We had not tried this before, but that gives you an idea. You could roll that back up. So we're just gonna go with the sword and my sword belt. This is an Albion Steward. It is a 14th century hand and a half sword. Replica. It is a very lovely sword. You see the schools of longsword fighting start to show up at the end of the 14th century. In Italy, you have Fiore's work. I'm gonna have to back into it.
Got it?
I have half of it. Then a lot of people will say, well, you can't really move in that. This is true. I cannot move in this as well as I can in, you know, a karate gi or shorts and a t-shirt or a pair of jeans. I also couldn't move very well in my stuff from the military either, because it's heavy and covered in grenades and magazines and body armor. So your kit is specific to what you are doing at that moment. And I'm going to tie this because I can't get it to buckle. But that's fine at the moment. We can deal.
Torsen mantle. Torsen mantle.
Gauntlets, then the torsen mantle. Actually, grab me my rondel dagger. Okay, so my long sword is in place. My rondel dagger is in place. Click. And now we need gauntlets. These are also made by me with the help of the man, the myth, the legend, Aaron Tolman. And now the last little thing of heraldic display for this is the torsen mantle to more show my colors. And I'm going to drop the visor. If you could hand me the poleaxe. So now I'm fully armed to fight on foot. I have my poleaxe. I got a smashing head, a piercing head, the Warhammer spike. I have another kind of a spike here on the end. I have my long sword if that fails, and I have my dagger if we come to grips. I'm fully armed and armored. I've got the pig face bassinet on, the finger gauntlets, the breastplate, the mail, the surcoat, and the torse. Everybody knows who I am, and everybody can see me coming. So, how long does it take to put this on? It takes about that long. How uncomfortable is it? It's not terrible, but it is heavy. Can you see? I can see out the eye slots. Can you hear? Not so great. That's why I'm yelling. Can you breathe? I can breathe okay. It's not hermetically sealed. Can you fight? Yeah, I'm fighting it all right. I can fight in it just fine. There's still some tweaks I want to do on this particular kit to make it work the way I want it to with everything on. But I'm generally happy with the direction it's gone. I wish I'd got to wear it in Ohio this weekend and go to days and nights, but instead we're doing it here because we're going to do it one way or the other. If you want to know more about armor, check out all the different pages that I follow. On top of that, like and subscribe this page and you'll keep seeing me put stuff on like this and having fun.